I was never a very skilled lacrosse player, nor was I particularly intimidating in size or strength, but my love for competition, my dad who coached my team, kept me motivated to play. I was a midfielder, but with my competitive spirit, I was taking face-offs, which made me a very crucial part of the team. What other players didn't know was that competitive spirit really meant anger issues. I may not have been very good or very big, but I was crazy. In the second to last game of the season, we were playing the mighty Perry Hall Gators. They were number one in our division and we were number two, so this was a very important game for a middle schooler like me. The game was 40 minutes away and I was squeezed in a tight car packed with 5 other teammates, all the equipment, and my dad. We were all very eager to step on the field and challenge the Gators. As we started warming up for the game, the air was humid and very hot. By the time the refs called for captains, I was dripping sweat. My friend and I walked up to half field, attempting to intimidate the other team. Since we were the away team, I got to call the toss, for which side we wanted. As always, I went tails because tails never fails. Sadly, on this occasion, tails failed, and at that second, a sudden rush of chills went up my back. In the first 5 minutes, the Gators scored 2 goals, which put everyone's hopes down, except mine. I had already told myself that we were going to win this game, and I was not ready to give up. When they scored their second goal, I was sitting on the bench, and if you have ever played a sport with me, then you know I hate watching from the bench when we get scored on. At this point, my lid was flipped. I was anxious to get in and skill some people up. So I walked up to my dad and said, "Can I go in? We obviously need me." At this moment, I've never been more surprised by my dad's next response. He said, "You know what? Get in there for Ben." Normally, my dad would never put me in if I asked like that. But at the time, I was not worrying about that. My heart started to beat faster as I jogged up to midfield. In the first minute I was in, I got wrecked. If you haven't ever seen a small body get hit before, then imagine a train hitting a deer. I was a small shrimp at that age, so I flew. But one thing I have never done in my life is let someone disrespect me, especially like that. I had always been taught by my coaches to never talk back to the refs after a bad call, since this was obviously a missed call. At this moment, I had to take things into my own hands. So I got up and headbutted the kid. I'm talking about the kind you see in movies with a full wind-up and everything. Both of our helmets collided and he fell back. The crowd was silent and both refs blew their whistles. Although my dad was furious at my actions, my adrenaline was still pumping, and I was proud of myself and trotted off into the box. He was so disappointed in me that he didn't play me for the entire fourth quarter. It killed me that I wasn't playing in the final quarter of the most important game of my middle school career. After the game ended, I was still pretty amazed by myself, since I've always wanted to do that. But I was also bummed that I missed the rest of the game. Walking to the car, I was preparing for the scariest car ride of my life with my dad. But when I got to the car, he told me how he wasn't mad at me and that he sat me the last quarter because what I did was unacceptable and could have hurt someone. At the time, I didn't think that what I did was very bad, but later that car ride, I did realize that what I did was wrong and that your parents are almost always right. So I apologized to my dad and we made up over some refreshing smoothies from Smoothie King. And a couple of days later we found out that I gave myself a concussion from headbutting the kid. So to this day I still believe in karma.